What's going on, everybody? Pogiforce here. You're watching Pogiforce Plays, and welcome back to another Sea of Thieves video. So we're just now entering into Season 6, and we are getting our first look at the new sea forts, including all of the phantoms that are coming with that. And I thought this would actually be a really great opportunity to talk about the different types of undead that are in Sea of Thieves. Because you see, they're called phantoms for a reason. And then there are also ghosts. And then there are skeletons. These are the three types of undead enemies in the game. And each of them is very different from the other. And it's actually very important to distinguish the difference. And in fact, only one of these three groups of undead has actually died. Skeletons are the first kind of enemy that's been around in the Sea of Thieves for pretty much forever. They are what happens to a pirate when they've been afflicted with the skeleton curse. They no longer need to eat and drink. They feel a darkness in their heart, in their flesh, in their muscle, and their sinew, all kind of rot away and disappear, leaving them behind as nothing more than walking bones. A lot of skeletons are kind of mindless and take orders from stronger skeletons like skeleton captains, skeleton lords. And even those can potentially be taking orders from an even higher skeletal power. All of this comes from handling cursed gold, as much of the gold in the Sea of Thieves is cursed. That is what happened to Briggsy, and that is what happened to the Gold Hoarder. The Servant of Flame, aka Flameheart Jr., became a skeleton from drinking from a cursed cup. And it is presumed that the various skeletal lords encountered at the skeleton forts in the Fort of Fortune were all once great pirates, all who befell the skeleton curse. But here's the thing about the skeleton curse. None of these pirates are actually dead. Not canonically speaking. All of these pirates, in fact, actually still live. They were living pirates who turned into skeletons rather than dying. And in fact can actually still be killed. In fact, that's what we do in most Order of Souls missions. When we kill them and then bring back their skull to the Order of Souls so that their memories can be extracted. Now, presumably very powerful skeletons like the Ashen Lords and the Skeleton Lords might be able to resurrect themselves, but it's unclear if that's true. There's nothing at least written that I've found that tells us such. But we have seen an instance of a Skeleton Lord coming back canonically twice, but not in the same way. Grey Marrow was killed by the player during the Revenge of the Morning Star tall tale. And the next time we see him, he is a ghost in the Fort of the Damned. This is a skeleton that was killed and became a ghost. We'll be talking about ghosts later. The other is the Gold Hoarder, who was defeated at Shores of Gold, and actually was seen again at the Dark Brethren meeting in the Dark Brethren tall tale. Now, the Gold Hoarder is an extremely powerful skeleton lord, far more powerful than Grey Marrow, and so it's possible that maybe because of his close connection to both the Gold Curse and the Skeleton Curse, he was able to be resurrected. But we also saw that he has become so far gone, he barely has any mental faculties left. Now, since we talked about ghosts, we'll talk about those next. And those are the spirits of pirates who have actually passed on. Technically, all of us have been ghosts at some point. That's what you are when you were aboard the Ferry of the Damned, before you return to the land of the living, fully resurrected. Apparently, the ferryman himself has the power to resurrect pirates. Now, not only can our pirates be ghosts, but we have met a few other ghosts and spirits in the Sea of Thieves. One of the more prominent would, of course, be the Pirate Lord, who himself is a ghost, as well as all of the other patrons in the Pirate Legends Tavern. Another very prominent ghost would be Sir Arthur Pendragon of the Black Witch, whom we rescue in the Seabound Soul tall tale. And in fact, most other forms of ghost that we see in the Sea of Thieves is usually some sort of spirit or entity that had been separated from their body or prevented from passing on to the Ferry of the Damned in some way. As a result, perhaps their travel to the ferry was disrupted, and they remain behind as a ghost. Most ghosts in the game actually are not enemies. In fact, the only ghost would be the aforementioned Ghost of Greymarrow. Though you could also argue that Flameheart was a ghost, albeit an extremely powerful one. He used to be an Ashen Lord, a skeleton lord, with a physical body. But in the Seabound Soul Tall Tale, we inadvertently released him from his physical shackles, from his dead skeletal body.
What have we done?
Another main thing about skeletons is that even though they are extremely powerful, no longer need to eat or drink, and presumably cannot die of old age, a skeleton's soul is bound to their corpse. We have seen that with Flameheart, whose soul was trapped in his skull and was freed by us in Seabound Soul. But also, their souls are used to extract their memories by the Order of Souls. Other ghosts we have seen would be the crew of the Cursed Captain in the first Pirate's Life Tall Tale. His entire crew are ghosts. Probably trapped there because they all died while in the Sea of the Damned. And because being already in the Sea of the Damned when you die is not a normal occurrence, and probably why they did not find themselves to the ferry. Incidentally, the implication that his entire crew is dead, save for himself, seems to imply that he might have been the one to kill them, especially since he was paranoid about them summoning the ferry and leaving. The Cursed Captain is not a good man. Now, the third type are phantoms. Now, what are phantoms? We know that the Sea of the Damned is basically comprised of memories of those who inhabit it. The island where we encounter the Cursed Captain is pulled from the Cursed Captain's memories, and then we also go through several different locations that are from Jack's memories when he was in the Sea of the Damned. These phantoms, we've come to learn, are all echoes, shadows, mere reflections of memories, played on a loop, replaying events. That's not to say that all phantoms are so passive. We have, of course, seen phantoms in the Sea of Thieves that have been a lot more aggressive. And we've even seen phantoms that are actually autonomous enough and self-aware enough to speak to our pirate directly, mainly in the form of Black Dog Briar.
Did you think me nothing but distant memory? I knows a living soul when I sees him, meddling where he don't belong. The name's Black Dog Briar. First mate to Captain Barbosa.
But in the end, that's all phantoms are, is mist and memory. We get a good example of that in the most recent adventure that just came to pass, when we got to see a lot of phantoms reenacting memories, presumably from the Servant of the Flame. That is not the actual Servant of the Flame on Shipwreck Bay, obviously. The actual Servant of the Flame is elsewhere in the Sea of Thieves. These are all just memories. Some of the phantoms are aware enough to fight back, but a lot of them are just memories put on play. Now, why is this important? Well, we need to break these three enemies down into three different categories. Living pirates who are cursed, actual dead pirates, and just memories given shape. The memories given shape are what the phantoms are, and they've been bleeding over ever since Davy Jones tampered with the Sea of the Damned. And now Flameheart is presumably doing the same with the new Shrouded Islands. So, why is this important? If the phantoms are nothing more than memory, but they can be weaponized, as long as that memory exists, then those phantoms will always exist. You can't kill something that never lived. So if a phantom is slain, the person who holds that memory, as long as they are still around to remember, can basically bring that phantom back to life as many times as they want. What this means is that if you can turn the phantoms into an army fighting for your will, then you have a literally endless army. Which it seems like that's exactly what Flameheart is trying to do. So, if these sea forts are the first look into Flameheart's new assault on the Sea of Thieves, then we have a long, hard fight ahead of us. The ghosts seem to be mostly on our side, and the skeletons are an ever-present threat, but they are also at odds with Flameheart. So we'll have to see what sort of encounters we can expect between these rival factions in the future. But that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. You've made it to the end of the video. You guys are amazing. Please subscribe to stay tuned for future content. And until next time, everyone, I am Pogiforce, and you guys stay awesome. Take care, everybody.